What if it were possible to claim that time as work hours? Well, Norway is one country that recognizes it as part of the workday, but can it actually work in South Africa? Let's find out from Tzvi Brivik of Malcolm, Lyons and Brivik. He joins us now via Skype. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. It sounds like a dream, but can it really be done in South Africa?
Absolutely, and good evening. It would be incredible if people could do their work, answer emails, draft emails, plan their days whilst commuting to and from work, and have that time included or counted as part of their working hours. There are a number of concepts that need to be distinguished here. The first is a commute, which is defined as traveling to and from from work. The other is overtime, which is essentially adding value to your employer's business or to your employer through your work, through your effort, which is included in your working hours, but outside of working hours. So it'll be outside of your ordinary working hours. In South Africa, we have the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, which sets out the number of working hours which are provided for in a week. And the legislators have foreseen or envisaged that employers and employees may want to change those working hours and negotiate those. It's not the flexi time, which I think most people have in their mind when they think about commuting to and from work outside of the congestion periods, which is the busy periods traveling to and from work in the morning.
So how much time do people actually spend in traffic in South Africa?
In Cape Town, the congestion level is 35%. What that effectively means is that for every trip that you make, the trip is extended by 35%, or roughly a third. There are other ways of measuring congestion. One can look at average speeds in and out of cities and around cities, or times to and from destination. But congestion levels give us a fairly accurate and comparable standard by which we can measure with other cities. In Cape Town specifically, as much as 2 full days are spent traveling to and from work by the average commuter on an annual basis. So it's a significant amount of time.
So let's say you're not in traffic but at home working on emails, coming up with things that can be done when you get to work. What about counting that as working hours, or is that something totally different?
Well, that would fall outside of what a commute would be, but it's certainly still adding value for your employer. What we would have to do in South Africa is for an employee to find a mechanism to negotiate those working hours. That doesn't automatically provide that doing that work out of time can be allowed for or considered as part of the working hours. So for instance, in the United Kingdom, there are special regulations put in place by statute which make provision for those working hours which you're referring to, as well as those during the course of a commute, to be calculated as working hours of an employee. So in effect, they would shorten the week that is spent in an office or a factory. But there are certain provisions or stipulations that are attached to that as well.
And lastly, let's talk about this. I mean, if employers actually change working times from, say, 8 to 9:30 or 10, that would, of course, lead to less congestion on the roads, and then we won't have to look at that idea of actually paying for people while they travel, right?
Absolutely. If working hours could be changed, and that's the flexi time, it will alleviate the congestions, making the traveling to and from an office far more easier. And also, a city with employers who are open-minded to this would be able to attract far more skilled employees and hopefully increase the value of its productive output.